Always those last minute settings that you have to play around with. This not necessarily super professional, but obviously fun STEM online. For those of you who have never been or have never been here, hi, my name is Chris Dorman. I work for the Maine State Library. I am the STEM librarian there. And today, after we wait a few minutes and see if anybody else joins, we are going to start talking about and making our own kaleidoscopes. We do a different science activity every Wednesday. And if there is something that you are really interested in talking about or learning about, by all means, put it in the chat, because I check the chat both during and after. And if you put some in the chat, then we'll see if we can maybe make a video about it and do some neat experiments. We'll give it another minute and see if anybody else comes in. And I will make another one of these. So I'm going to trace, because sometimes you just don't want to measure. You ever had a song stuck in your head, guys? I have one stuck in my head, and it won't go away. I've had two stuck in my head, actually. But all right, it is 3:32. So we'll start. Happy Wednesday, guys. My name is Chris Dorman. I work for the Maine State Library as the STEM librarian. Every Wednesday, we do a Science Online where we choose a topic and we decide to make something cool with articles that you can find around your house. So what we're going to do this week is we are talking about reflection, and we are talking about kaleidoscopes. So you guys can see kaleidoscopes. You can buy them at the store. They're obviously going to be much more posh and cooler than ours, but we're going to make these. So this is my kaleidoscope. Obviously, I had to put a little swag on it. And what you're going to do is, what happens is, this limits the field of vision. Inside, there are 3 reflective surfaces. And if you can hear, there are a bunch of tiny beads that my sister gave me. So see the 3 reflective surfaces? Those tiny beads, when you look through, reflect off my 3 mirrored surfaces and make some really cool reflective designs. Because the way a kaleidoscope works is you have one here, one here, and one here, and they just bounce off each other. So you get these amazing, gorgeous, repeatable designs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make that inside reflective triangle. So you're going to take your toilet paper roll. I laid it down. I actually squished it flat. You can squish it flat if you want. Okay. So you're going to measure it, and you want it just shorter than this. So probably like 1/4 of an inch if you have your ruler. If not, just kind of eyeball it. So see how it's just a little bit shorter right here. Whoops, reverse. Okay. And we're going to cut 3 of those. I've got 2 already cut. If you came in a little early, you would have seen it. So we're going to cut those. And again, use scissors if you are a little and you are not safe with scissors yet, but you will be. Keep practicing. Make sure you have an adult do this. And once we have our 3 pieces cut out, and just in case anybody knows, I used a mac and cheese box because we had mac and cheese the other night. So I have my 3. Now, the interesting part is a lot of people said that they didn't have aluminum foil or tin foil, depending on how you want to call it. And also, my partner pointed out that there are 2 different sides to tin foil. Did you guys know that? There's like a shiny side and a kind of dull side. We want to try really hard to get that shiny side up. So we're going to take our glue. We're going to make sure the shiny side, in my case, goes down because I'm going to place my stuff face down. And we're going to take all 3 of those. We're going to glue them. And this is just regular white glue, not anything fancy, just good old Elmer's. We're not making slime though, so, and don't ask, I won't make slime. I have slime in my carpet that will never ever come out and will be here long after I ever move out of this house. Whoops. So we're going to take all three. We're just going to glue them down. If you guys heard that, that was my dog. She has made appearances in these videos before when it's nice enough to go out back. I don't know if any of you guys got snow. I've seen a couple pictures. All right, so now we have our three. Okay, we'll leave those to dry for a few minutes. The next thing you want to do is, again, take more of your thin cardboard, and this is what we're going to make the eyepiece out of. Actually, you can see more of the mac and cheese box. So carefully, you're going to take your tube, and you're going to, oh, where'd my marker go? I lose stuff a lot, guys. I work in chaos. It's a good time. So you're going to take it, and you're going to trace it. Okay. And then just inside that, you don't have to necessarily trace it, but just kind of make a little circle, maybe about the size of a Cheerio. Okay. And then again, I should have brought scissors because this is going to be really hard. Carefully cut, and you want to cut just inside that line because remember, this is going to fit as well as can be expected. It's going to fit inside the tube if we're really good. I am awful at cutting circles, so mine probably won't fit. Careful with your fingers. I don't know how well you can see this, but I currently have a scuffed up knuckle because I wasn't careful. And I was trying to clean my basement because I did a lot of sanding this weekend. There is stuff everywhere, guys. Like I'm covered in sawdust. Covered. Now, I know there are a couple of people in the chat. Have you guys ever used kaleidoscopes before? Have you ever made kaleidoscopes before? Do you have ideas on how to make amazing kaleidoscopes? Whoop. There we go. Ugh, that's not a pretty circle, but it'll work. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough so that we can seal off that end. And the cool part is we're going to use some tape later. So if it doesn't quite fit, if it's a little big or a little small, that's fine. Just use more tape. If you guys see Vicky Scott in the chat, that's my mom. Hi, Mom. So I'm going to carefully. Now, if you don't have a hole cutter and you're like me and you don't have scissors, or even if you have scissors, there's one really easy way to cut out a circuit with cardboard. So if you guys look carefully, and I know it's hard to see, I kind of made a push through. I just made a star in the middle. So now all I have to do is just cut around the edges, and they should all fall, out. I don't know if this will actually happen or not. Sometimes I do well. See if they all fall out. Nope, because I talked a big game and said they'd all fall out, and now they won't. And again, you can use this with scissors. If you are a little, please have an adult help and practice your scissor skills with safety shears, because I like all of your fingers where they are, because we need our fingers to do more of this stuff, right? So now I have my end piece. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side. I'm going to put it right with my tube. Okay. And by this time, our three pieces should be pretty close to dry. Now, if you don't have aluminum foil, there are so many things around your house that are shiny. There's this. This is actually a piece of a coffee bag. The inside of a coffee bag is shiny, guys. Who knew? I've been taking apart coffee bags because they're fun. Because they have these cool one-way filters. Check that out. I've been playing with it. The inside of a chip bag is great. I don't have any chips in the house right now or chip bags that I could empty. So unfortunately, I didn't get to try out any chip bags. But chip bags are fantastic. The inside of those are shiny. Look around and see what you have around the house, because there's stuff everywhere that you can use. It doesn't have to be just what I give you. And feel free to experiment. Like, there have been numerous times where this is the, like, for instance, this is the third kaleidoscope that I had to make in the last 2 days, because the first two just didn't really work. And I have different versions, and I've played with different things, and I think this one works pretty well. I like this one. So we're just going to cut these out. And you can see I'm leaving a little bit of extra. You don't have to. I'm just not really good at cutting straight lines. So there's a little extra. And if you get that little extra, instead of trying really hard to get right up to the edge, just fold it over. I mean, it's aluminum foil. It folds really, really well. Just fold that over. Just like that. You want to do it to all three. And you want to push. You want to get it as smooth as you can. I did not do a good job with these. And I'm going to blame it on the fact that this was tin foil that we messed up on the other day. So it was supposed to be, lining for one of our baking pans for a supper we were going to make, but it got all crumply and it ripped, and now I'm using it. So it's not the straightest, but that's okay, because we'll still make it work, because it just has to be shiny. Okay, so now I have my 3 pieces done. 3 pieces done, covered with aluminum. Covered with blah, blah, blah. Do you guys have blah, blah, blah at home? Okay, so it's covered with aluminum foil. We're going to take those 3 pieces and we're going to make a triangle out of them. Now remember, we want the reflective side or the shiny side to be inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some tape. I have the ever famous masking tape, but you can use masking tape, you can use duct tape, you can use painter's tape, you can use clear tape, packing tape. I don't know how many more types of tape are there. There's a lot. Okay, so you can use any type of tape you want. The way I like to do it, I'll put some tape down, and then I'll lay out my pieces like this, so that way I can take my other piece and carefully line it up and just kind of roll it on there so it matches. See? Now I have 2 pieces that are stuck together. We're going to do the same thing to the other one. Just take a piece of tape, stick it upside down, or get stuck to it because it's tape. That's what happens. Okay. Put the side down. Take this last one, push it right up to the edge so they're all even. Now I got 3 pieces, right? To make that final triangle, we're going to take those outside pieces. Oops, push that down. We're going to make a triangle, okay? Now we don't want to leave it like this because it'll open up. And the whole point of this for the kaleidoscope is you want to be able to have it reflect off all 3 surfaces, okay? So it has to be connected to the top. That sounds scary, but you know what it is? More tape. A lot of things can be solved by adding more tape. So I took really big pieces. Oops. So we're just going to take a little piece here. We'll just make a triangle. And again, I just stick it to one side and just flip it over. Bloop. This doesn't have to be perfect if one side is a little lower than the other. Again, I'm not really going to do anything. It's fine. It's all science. And if this one doesn't work and you have a little time later today, go ahead and make another one. But instead of doing the exact same way, think, how can I make this better? How can I make it prettier? How can I decorate it? How can I make something that is more reflective? So now we have our triangle, right? Ooh. This is the easy part. So now we're going to take our tube. Whoops, I've got extra tubes everywhere. So we're going to take our tube. We have our eye cap. Okay, so we have our eye cap. We have our tube. I did not measure right, so my tube does not fit in. I'm going to squish it a little bit, or I'll probably have to cut it down. Yep, I'll have to cut it down because my tube is too big. Maybe I can make it fat. Hold on. Nope, I measured wrong. My tube is too big. But that's okay, because if your tube is too big, you can just take off one side, cut it down a little bit. Because, I'm not a very good measurer. And we have proved this by making several things that were not measured correctly. Like that wall behind me. Whoops. That's about a half an inch off square. And that's okay. Because it still works. Doesn't actually hold up any weight. It doesn't have to. It's just to hold my tools and to support my stairs. So again, just going to cut a little bit off because I measured wrong. Oops. And if this happens to you, be very careful. The farm part is littles. If the bigs yell at you for cutting tinfoil with your parents' scissors, just remind them that tinfoil actually sharpens scissors, which is awesome. A little known fact that tinfoil, if you cut it, will resharpen your scissors. So if you ever have a pair of dull scissors and you need them sharpened, just go and cut a bunch of tinfoil. How cool is that? Instant scissor sharpening. Let's see if this fits. Make my triangle again. And oh yeah, that'll work. Lost my tape. Boop. Tape the top together. And then squish it in. Boop. Woohoo! All right. Then we're going to take our eyepiece. Now, some people use glue. If you watch them on YouTube, there are a lot of different ways to do this. Probably the best way to do it would be transparent tape. I don't have any transparent tape with me right now. And if I do, it's with all my Christmas wrapping stuff and my birthday paper, which is in my attic. I'm not going up there right now, guys. I don't like the attic. My attic is not scary. There's just insulation everywhere. And I don't want to get itchy today. So just use a bunch of little pieces of tape. We're going to stick it right on there. Loop. One more piece should do it. And now, if you guys look out a window, do not look at the sun with this. It will not protect your eyes. Okay, so be very careful about that. Okay, you want to take it and just kind of look at something really bright and see if it starts to reflect off your eyepieces. Okay. Bloop, bloop, bloop. If you look at it this way, it won't do anything. It doesn't limit your vision. All right, now remember how I said you need thin pieces of clear plastic. So I offered up a takeout container. I'm not going to cut this one, but it is an excellent source of clear plastic. I need this. You can also use the ever-present and popular with me clear bottles. This is great to use. It even has a little bit of a concave shape, so you can use your clear plastic there. We made, what is this? We made a Boreal rice, and it came in this cool container. This will work too, okay? It doesn't really matter what you use as long as it's a strong plastic. So for instance, I got some new tools this weekend, and I'm going to use this clear plastic and try really hard not to cut myself on Facebook Live. You're going to need, in this plastic, to again trace out 2 circles. Doop, 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 doop. Tracing out 2 circles. That's circle number 1. And this is circle number 2. I'm not going to cut these out with a razor blade because that's silly. I'm going to use my scissors because it's much easier. Now again, be careful with this plastic, just like when we use plastic for anything else. You want to be really careful because these edges are very, very, very sharp when you cut them. Right? So just be aware. Also remember, we trace the outside edge. So you want to make sure that when you're cutting this, you want to go to the inside of the line because we want to put this inside the tube, which means we want the inside diameter. Oops, there's 1. Ooh, excuse me, my nose is running. Remember the inside diameter. So what these 2 plastic pieces are going to do is they're going to hold whatever we are going to look like, whatever we're going to look like, this is what I look like, whatever we're going to look at inside our kaleidoscope. So these are going to be kind of our windows. So again, they don't have to be perfect. Woo! And you always want to cut them a little bit bigger than you should. You make sure they fit. So I'm going to take one. This one's a little big, and that's okay. Just kind of push it down in and make it fit. Ooh, it's a little too big, too big. Hold on, we'll cut it smaller. That should fit. Here we go. Oh, that's nice. There we go. Cut it in so it fits nice and snug. So that is our first window. So now we have our eyepiece, our triangle, which is all of our reflective, and our first piece of plastic. Now, this is where I told you guys can get sequins, you can get buttons. I did not say glitter. I don't like glitter. But if you have glitter and you want to use it, ask for parental position or adult permission. I don't condone it. Don't like it. I was lucky enough that my sister gave me some amazing, very, very pretty beads. You guys see them? Very, very pretty. So I'm going to take a whole bunch of those beads because she's an amazing sister. And I'm going to pour a whole bunch of those in. So the first one I made did not have enough of these. So I found out that the more you put in, the better, but you have to remember that you have to leave space for your second piece to go on top. Now I'm going to leave this one a little big because it's going to sit on the top on the outside. We're just going to tape it. So I'll take more tape. There's a lot of tape, guys. It's a problem. I also have a problem with duct tape. I have a lot of duct tape upstairs. And carefully, you just kind of take little pieces and you just roll them around the edge because we don't want any of these little beads to fall out and fly all over my basement floor because I will not be able to pick them all up, to be honest. That would be very, very messy. We don't want that. And you want to make sure you don't cover completely, at least. You can cover it a little bit, but you don't want to cover this outer plastic because that is the light that's going to show through the beads to help give us reflection, because without light, you can't see anything. You can't see color. I mean, you guys have been in a dark room, right? No color, no light, no reflection. Now, if you've done all that, kind of wipe it off a little bit, okay? And you should be able to look at a light, not the sun, and see color reflections as you spin off your aluminum foil. And now you have a tiny kaleidoscope. Now there are probably 50 gazillion different ways to make these, and they're all great, and feel free to go online and YouTube different ways to make them. There are 2-piece kaleidoscopes, there are 3-piece kaleidoscopes, but once you have this built, you now have a working kaleidoscope. You can see the reflection. You can take off the top and put in different things. So instead of the stuff you have in right now, you can put in other things like sequins or tiny bits of colored paper. And just play with it. Another option is you can take a little bit of wax paper, and then you have this cool filtered light, which is great. But yeah, so that's a simple DIY kaleidoscope. Oh, and the best thing is now that you have this, make sure that you get to decorate the outside with paper, markers, crayons. Do what you want, make it pretty, make it yours. And I think that's it. That's all we have for today. If you make one of these, please send me a link, show what you guys have done, so that way we can post it and make sure that you guys get credit for all of your awesomeness. Again, my name is Chris Dorman. I work for the Maine State Library. I'm the STEM librarian. This was Science Online, and we will see you guys next week, Wednesday at 3:30, when we do something else. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.